Just wanted to do a quick introduction to this video that I made. So this is a Mitsubishi TV that my grandpa gave me, and I'm comparing the focus to some other TVs that I have. And I just want to correct a few errors that I made when I recorded the video. So first off, when I'm talking about sharpness, I'm not talking about the actual menu sharpness, like where you can go in with the remote control and change the sharpness. Specifically talking about the actual manual adjustments that you make with the potentiometer in the back of the TV. So yeah, just basically anytime when I say sharpness, I really mean the focus. The focus that you make with that manual adjustment. I go into that. Also, I really wanted to emphasize that if you don't feel comfortable opening up a CRT, definitely don't do it, because if you touch the wrong thing in there, I haven't personally been shocked before, but I've heard a lot of horror stories from people that actually worked on these TVs for a living, and yeah, you don't want to just play around in there nilly-dilly. You want to be really careful. And then let's see. Oh, and then the other thing is, let's see here. Yeah, so the scan lines, when I mentioned scan lines, I was referring to the black bars or lines in between the lines of color on the CRT display, but technically scan lines are actually the lines of color, like that's what's being scanned and displayed on the screen, and then the black bars in between the lines of color, those are just nothing, just black, just nothingness. So yeah, the scan lines are technically the lines of color, but in the video I messed that up, which I think most people do. But yeah, I called the black lines scan lines, but technically they're not, they're just nothing. So anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, oh, and also so this TV that my grandpa gave me when he upgraded to a to a digital flat screen, I was really disappointed at the beginning because because of the focus problem, and it wasn't as clear as the Sony Trinitron. But stay tuned till the end of the video, because I think you might be surprised on what I found out. So yeah, and this is going to be the first part of a two-part series. I'm going to go into more depth into another video onto some other picture quality issues. But yeah, here's the video. Okay, so here we're going to do some tests between this Mitsubishi CK-35308 from 1997, and then this is the Sony Trinitron KV36FS16 from 2000. This is a Vizio 4K TV, which may or may not work since we're doing 240p stuff, and then this is a JVC AV27230 from 2002. But yeah, these two are both hooked up with S-Video. This one's running composite. This one's just kind of here just for a control. Just kind of just for fun, basically. But yeah, I've got the 240p test suite in here in the Dreamcast. Yeah, who would have ever thought the Dreamcast could play Sony disc, huh? So yeah, turn that on. Yeah, these are both S-Video, and yeah, it's kind of hard to capture with a camera, but I've got the shutter speed set to 1/60, so. Alright, okay, this happens sometimes with this thing on the Dreamcast. I don't know if it's because my Dreamcast is having problems reading disc or what, but also it's a pretty small game. But yeah, sometimes you just have to open it and then close it, and then you go into the game. There we go. Yeah, this 240p test suite is pretty amazing. Okay, so here we have, even this text right here says patterns. It actually looks better in real life. Yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of hard to capture this stuff, but
Yeah, but you can see over here on the Sony, it looks a lot sharper. The scan lines, you can clearly see the scan lines along here. They're very well defined on this Sony TV. Whereas over here on the Mitsubishi, the scan lines kind of merge together. If you get really close, you can still kind of see them. Yeah, it's just the sharpness isn't quite as good on this TV. But yeah, let's go down here to one of the tests. So let's see here. Horizontal stripes. Yeah, let's do that one. Yeah, so see, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad. Like, you can see the scan lines. It's just that on the Sony, the scan lines are a lot bigger, a lot more pronounced. And I think it's just because it doesn't mesh together as much. I'm going to pause the video and just look. Yeah, so here's another test. This is the, what was this called? Diagonal test. Oh, okay. I guess you have to do something to make it spin. But yeah. So even on here, like, everything is clearly defined on the Mitsubishi, or like on this text. It's just that it's just off, just like it's just a little bit blurry. Like, you can kind of see the green stuff bleeding into the black. Whereas over here on the, well, I guess you can actually kind of see that on the Trinitron too. But the scan lines are just a lot more pronounced, and like you can see on these white bars too, you can clearly see the scan lines. Yeah, whereas over here it just kind of blurs together. Okay, now here's another one. This is the, what was this called? The checkerboard test. So you can see on here, you can kind of see the little checkerboards. But over here on the Trinitron, it's just a lot more well defined. And then I don't know what's going on with this JVC, but I don't know if it's because it's composite or what, but it's it's having troubles, and it might be because of this this switcher I have. It's converting this video to composites. Maybe that's causing issues, but yeah, but anyway, these two are S video. And then I'm gonna push the A button here to change it. So now it just made it smaller. It just kind of goes back and forth. Same thing with this TV. This makes it bigger or smaller. Yeah, let's go into another test. Okay, let's do this scroll test. This is on the JVC. Sorry, on the Mitsubishi. So yeah, it looks pretty good, you know, as you'd expect. Now, keep in mind this is a traditional CRT. It's curved glass. Now this Sony CRT, it has a curved tube in it, but they actually, I'm trying to move these cables out of the way. They actually, they put a flat screen on it, and so it actually causes some distortion here, over here on when it's scrolling. Can you see that? Like the trees go in and out. Yeah. But anyway, that's just kind of the CRTs that are flat screen. They have that distortion a little bit compared to the traditional round screen. But yeah. But see, now on here, when it's an actual game that's playing, like you really can't tell the difference between the, well, I guess you can. You can see the scan lines a lot more pronounced on this Sony TV than with the Mitsubishi. And I think that does have to do with the sharpness. Okay, and then now let's do this grid test. Yeah, so you can see on here, I mean, this Mitsubishi, basically, I mean, everything looks like exactly straight because, you know, the CRT technology was designed for these curved screens. But yeah, but you can see, like, it just looks basically like a white line. In real life, you can actually see a slight black line that's going down the middle. But over here on the Sony, you can clearly see, you know, the black scan line in between the white lines. And so yeah, the sharpness is just is better set on this Sony TV. And then also another interesting thing is where on the Mitsubishi all the lines look straight. On this Sony TV that has a flat screen, you can actually just get the cord out of the way. You can see that like these lines, it actually, like, it's not 100% straight, it actually goes like this, like woo. Yeah, you can see that it's, and that's just the, one of the disadvantages of flat screen CRTs. Whereas over here they're perfectly straight. But yeah, the sharpness is better on this Sony TV. And actually, same thing with this Mitsubishi as well. Even though this is composite, you can, well, maybe it's because it's hard to tell, but yeah, you can. This is a smaller TV too, but you can see the scan lines in between the white lines. So anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna come back here, and I'm gonna take off this back. It's kind of there's some very high voltages in here, but I've done some research on it, and actually there's just a little potentiometer you have to do with the screwdriver, and so yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. And I've got a insulated screwdriver here, so, and yeah, and they should be plastic as well. But anyway, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna try to adjust the sharpness. And actually, to tell you the truth, it's kind of hard to tell the difference in like real games. Like let's go ahead and just try out this count of the Dreamcast, and then we'll do a real game. Do Donkey Kong 64. So yeah, so I mean on here, yeah, let's go. Yeah, like it's really hard to tell the difference between the two on an actual game as far as sharpness goes. I mean, you can definitely see the scan lines better on the Sony TV. But yeah, let's try going into a place where there's text. So, like on here, this game, you can clearly see the scan lines on the Sony TV. Whereas on the Mitsubishi, it just kind of all merges together. You can kind of see where they are, but yeah, it's just not as sharp. Same thing in the center of the screen. Yeah, here's over here. Yeah. So anyway, and then I'm gonna hit pause. I'm gonna do one more test. Okay, so this is just this is HD TV that's going through this analog converter, so it works on older TVs. But like, I wanted to find something that had static text, but yeah, you can see it on here. So like, you can kind of read it. Scan for quick access to something getting shop. This is on the Mitsubishi. When you go over here on the Sony, yeah, you can clearly read it. The scan for quick access to our one shop. I mean, it's still kind of blurry, but one shop gifting shop. But yeah, it's a lot clearer on this the Sony TV than it is on the Mitsubishi. And then now, oh, it went away. All right. Oh, there it is again. And then actually now it's working on this 4K TV because this is 480i instead of 240p. But yeah, it also looks pretty clear on here. Although I would say it doesn't look quite as sharp as the Sony TV, just because there's, the signal is meant for, an analog TV. But yeah, yeah, the text just isn't quite as sharp on these, on the Mitsubishi. So yeah, in fact, I'd say you can read it really clearly on this. Yeah, I don't know, maybe the Sony TV needs to have the sharpness adjusted too. Yeah, because then over here on the JVC, you can also read it pretty clearly. So yeah, anyway, that's what I'm going to be looking at. Okay, I just thought of one more test I can do here. So yeah, so this, I'm going to test out the switch on these TVs real quick. Oh, by the way, you can see on here too, you can see that on this Sony flat screen CRT, the line actually like curves a little bit on these colors, whereas over here on the Mitsubishi it's just straight. It's actually straight on the 4K TV too. But yeah, you don't really notice it unless you look for it. But anyway, let's turn on the switch here. And I think, oh, hold on, I probably haven't set it up. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I forgot to plug in the switch HDMI cable. Oh yeah, and also for this adapter, you actually have to have the switch set to 480p for it to show up. But anyway, yeah, let's look at some of the clarity stuff on here. So like up here where it says system settings, this is on the Sony TV. Over here, you can still read it. It really is more noticeable on the smaller text. So like down here where it says back, it's kind of blurry. Can't really tell that's a B button. Because over here on the Sony TV, it's all pretty clear. Oh, except the Sony. Oh my goodness! I pushed the I pushed the channel button with my knee by accident. Oh, brother, now I gotta hold on. Pause the video here. Okay, and we're back. Yeah, I pushed the channel button. But yeah, you can see down here. So it's pretty clear what it says. Same thing over here on the 4K TV. It's pretty clear. And I'll do the JVC too. The JVC and the 4K TV are just composite as well. Yeah, it's pretty clear on those. And then this adapter is taking the HDMI signal from the switch, and then it's converting it to VGA, and then it's going into this little adapter, and then it's converting it to S-video, and then this switcher takes the S-video signal and converts it to composite for these two TVs, and then it just keeps the original S-video on these two that we're mostly testing. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like terrible. You can still read it, except when the text gets kind of small on this JVC, or sorry, on Mitsubishi. It's kind of hard to read, whereas on the Sony, it's pretty clear. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna try to fix. So yeah, just kind of look at that. I should also mention I've unplugged this, the power cable for the Mitsubishi TV. So yeah. It's important to stay safe on this stuff. So yeah. Okay, and then I just want to emphasize here that even though I have it unplugged, these CRTs still stored a very high amount of electricity in them, and so yeah, just even when it's unplugged, just don't touch anything that you're not supposed to unless you know what you're doing. So just want to make that clear. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it, because they can be very dangerous. Okay, so I've taken out all the screws on this back thing here. I just want to say this, it's very important. This is from these old TVs. They have very high voltages inside of them. So yeah, you just want to be very careful not to touch anything. You can see in there. And actually, hold on, I think I forgot a screw at the bottom. Okay, I took out that last screw. I'm just gonna lift this up. Just like that. Okay. Alright. So I couldn't specifically find the service manual for this TV. So, oh, but I can see, okay, yeah, so usually if you're going to work on any of this stuff, so you can see the anode cap right there. I don't want to get too close to it, because I just want to keep my distance, just want to get in here and adjust the sharpness and call it a day. But yeah, you can see the anode cap. That's where you would usually want to, I'm not going to even show how to do it, but you can do it with a screwdriver and you can discharge it. But yeah, you can look for somewhere else, someone who has a video on that. But anyway, yeah, it looks like these are the things I'm going to be dealing with right here. So yeah, they say the anode, the wire that's connected to the anode cap, it goes into this, I think it's called a fly box from what I remember. But yeah, this top, oh, where's my finger? There it is. This top one is for the focus, and then this bottom one is for the screen, which is like the brightness. Yeah, I am going to take this screwdriver that I've insulated. It also has a rubber thing under here, but yeah, I'm gonna try to adjust this a little bit and see if I can fix this. Actually, while I'm in here, and just see if anything else is leaked. I don't see anything that's leaked in here. I'm looking at these capacitors, so I guess that's something that they say that can happen on these. Yeah, it looks like it's in. Looks like I don't see any capacitors that have leaked, so yeah, I think it probably just needs to have a little bit of adjustment on here. So.
Okay, so I took apart the TV as you saw before, and I adjusted the focus knob, and this is for this the Mitsubishi from 1997, and it didn't really change anything. I mean, I could make it worse, but I couldn't make it look better than what it already looked from just the way I got it from my grandpa. This is a TV my grandpa gave me. So, yeah, I was just like, well, maybe it's just not as sharp as the Sony TV or the JVC over here. But then I was looking in the menu and I found this really cool thing that was turned on. This feature. So you can see here it says TV notch filter. So this was actually turned on. So right now it's turned on. And that actually makes everything just look a little bit blurrier, which is very interesting. It also removes some of the noise in the screen, so I think that's probably what it's for. It removes some of the noise in these like compositor S-video signals, but then it also takes away some of the detail. But yeah, you can see the difference. So this is what it's on right now, and then when I turn it off here, you see it just kind of like everything just gets a little bit more detailed. So on, and then off, on, off. That's kind of interesting. But anyway, so when it's off though, it actually looks really I'd say just about or as crisp as this Sony Trinitron does. I think the scan lines are still more pronounced on the Trinitron. Oh, another thing on here too is, let's see, on the Trinitron, I actually had this set on here too. This VM, the edge enhancement, I had this on low, which was what standard is. Well, you can see what this looks like. So when it's on low, it just kind of makes the scan lines and the just lines in general more pronounced. But anyway, I just turned it off since then. But yeah, it's off now. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, I'd say that with this with the notch filter off on this Mitsubishi, it actually looks really really sharp, really crisp. Yeah, and I can see how it would be good though. On some things, like for example, was it this one? Yeah. So like in this test, so this is with the notch filter off, and like you can clearly see like there's very defined lines in between the colors, kind of like over here on the Trinitron 2, and on the JVC. Actually kind of funny. So this is the 4K Vizio Tv. This is a 240p signal, and usually this TV does not it does not handle 240p at all, but for some reason when it's coming from the Dreamcast, it's able to interpret it. Maybe it's because it's being converted to composite. I'm not entirely sure. Although actually I've tried it before and it didn't work, so I don't know why coming from the Dreamcast it's working, but in fact, just curious. I'm gonna try turning this TV off. Sorry, this is kind of a side thing, but I'm gonna turn off this TV. I'm gonna turn it back on because then it will tell us what signal it thinks it's receiving. I'm curious to see if it says 240p or 480i. Yeah, so turn that back on. Give it a second to warm up here. Yeah, it displays it all in black and white. It's kind of funny. Okay, it's thinking, yeah, so 480i. So it is incorrectly interpreting the 240p signal, and actually now it's not even showing up. Oh, brother, I jinxed it. So I guess sometimes it just works, and it usually doesn't. But if it does work, then it interprets it as a black and white signal, which kind of makes sense because black and white signals are similar to composite. I mean to color signals, just that they have more. They have the color signals come after the brightness, which would be, you know, for how black or white the signal is. So yeah. Anyway, I guess I just got lucky before, but anyway, going back to here. So yeah, so this is with the notch filter off, and then when I turn it on, so you can see the colors get a bit more vibrant. It's also harder to see the lines in between. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just preference, but I kind of like the picture with the notch filter off, just because, you know, the details are like the small text is more crisp. Yeah, and I don't know if this Trinitron has that, but yeah, I mean, it's yeah, now I'm really happy with this Mitsubishi, and it's kind of funny because I actually didn't have to take it apart to fix the sharpness on it. I just had to turn off this notch filter on the, you know, with the remote control. So anyway, I took off the back anyway, and it was an interesting project. Let's go ahead and let's just go into. I'm gonna do a more complete comparison between these TVs later. Okay, and then here's our other test with the switch screen that we did before. So here we can see with the notch filter on, and then we're gonna turn it off here, and see it just sharpens up quite a bit. Now you can clearly see it says B there. So there's off. That's the way we're looking at before. And then that was on, and then this is off. Yeah, and then you can see over here on the Trinitron too. And then on the 4K TV, yeah, looks really good on the 4K TV. And then we got the JVC over here. Yeah, turn that notch filter off. Also makes the switch text look a lot clearer. You can even read this stuff down here. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty clear now. Then again, when we turn on the notch filter, you can still read it, but it's just blurry. I'll just turn it back off again. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Let's see what it looks like on this screen real quick. It's like on this Super Mario. So this is with it off. And then turn it on. Yeah, you can't really. It's hard. Well, actually, yeah, you can. Yeah, so see, so that's off, and then on, and then off. Yeah, see, going on and off. So see, like this text up here. So this is off, and then on, off, on. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Or up here, the date. So this is off, on, or not the time. I mean, yeah, it makes a big difference for the clarity. Yeah. Okay, on to the next test. So actually we're going to do Donkey Kong 64, just because that's what I did last time. So I'll turn this on to input 1.
Okay.
Oh hey, holy cow, it's working over here! And it's in color! Wow. I can't believe it's actually working on this TV. This 4K... Hold on, let me turn this down. This 4K TV is so sporadic. Oh my goodness. See, when I just turned it around to turn down the volume, it stopped reading the 240p signal. But did you see that? It was working for a second, and even in color. Oh, brother. Anyway. So yeah, let's look at these two. I'm going to do a more complete video where I compare more between the Mitsubishi and the Trinitron. But yeah, now that I figured out that that notch filter was on, I don't know. And, you know, people say these Trinitrons, the Sony Trinitrons are the best, but to tell you the truth, I don't know, unless you really like having the really pronounced scan lines in your picture, I tell you what, these Mitsubishis are really pretty amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, right now it looks, like the Mitsubishi looks brighter, and I have brightness turned all the way down too because I think the black levels are better. Yeah, it looks just great though, really. So, but anyway, I'll be doing a other video where I compare these two more. But yeah, that's kind of the end of this one. So, yeah, we figured out the mystery. Yeah, just curious. I'm gonna try turning this off, turn this back on. Last thing, I just want to see if this actually comes back. I can't believe it actually showed up before. Oh, look at that. Okay, so maybe it's just when you first turn on the system, you're lucky. You can get lucky, or maybe this first part's in 480i. Ah, yeah, I bet that's what it is. I bet that first little intro part's in 480i for this Donkey Kong 64 because it has the expansion pack. I bet that's what's happening. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Till the next video, till part 2. We'll see you later.